How's it going, everybody? Daner here with North Central Coins, and welcome back to another episode of the most rare and valuable coins in Britain. Today, I'm going to be counting down the top 10 most valuable British pennies. British coinage has an incredibly long and storied history. Its pre-decimal coinage goes back hundreds of years, and the pre-decimal British penny was produced between the years of 1825 and 1967. When Great Britain switched to the decimal currency system, it left a lot of these older coins irrelevant at the time. Experienced collectors probably had a pretty good idea that these coins may be worth a fortune one day, and that is definitely the case. Some of these old pre-decimal British pennies can be worth buku amounts of money. In this list, I'm going to count down the top 10 most valuable pre-decimal British pennies from the Queen Victoria era up to the Queen Elizabeth II era, when they switched to the decimal system. Before I do start this video off, I would really appreciate if you guys would hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and also hit that bell notification so you can see my videos as they are being released. In the past, I've made plenty of videos detailing the rare and valuable coins from Canada, the United States, Britain, Australia, Germany, and I'm going to be making plenty more in the future. So stay tuned for those, but what do you say we get into today's episode and discuss the top 10 most valuable pre-decimal British pennies? Let's get it, guys. So as I start this list off, I'm not going to work my way from the least to the most valuable. I'm going to work my way through the years, starting with the 1843, which is the Queen Victoria era of British pennies. So what do you say we start this list off with number 10, which is going to be the 1843. Now for the 1843 British penny, you need to identify a variety. There are two different varieties for 1843. There is one with a colon. I will put an example up on the screen of what you need to look for. And there is another example without a colon. Now the prices I'm going to be giving you are in British pounds today. I will put the exchange rate for British to Canadian money on the screen right now. But in terms of value, the 1843 can be worth around 1,680 pounds for an MS60 example, and all the way up to 3,920 pounds for an MS63. Number 9 is going to be the 1860 British penny. Now you need to identify another variety for this. You need to identify the toothed border. Now for the 1860 British penny, there are a few different varieties. There is one with a toothed border and there is one with more circular denticles. If you can identify the toothed border variety, it can be worth around 54 pounds for an MS60, around 189 pounds for an MS64, and all the way up to 3,860 pounds for an MS67. Number 8 is going to be another 1860 British penny, and this is with the regular circular denticles, but you need to identify a variety or error on this penny, and it is the 60 over 59. So to identify this, what you have to do is look at the last two digits in the date 1860, and if it looks like there is a 60 stamped over a 59, then you might have yourself one incredibly rare and valuable British penny that can be worth around 3,100 pounds for an MS60 and all the way up to 5,600 for an MS63 example. Number 7 is the 1862 Queen Victoria British penny. Now there are a few varieties for 1862. There is a small date and a large date. They are both pretty valuable, but the small date is the more valuable of the two. I will put an example of what that looks like on the screen for you. But if you can identify the small date variety for the 1862 British penny, it can be worth around 4,000 pounds for an MS60. If it was to grade any higher, it could see a significant price jump. We could be talking around $10,000 if it hit around the MS65 mark. Number 6 is the 1864 Queen Victoria British penny, and this is with a plain 4 variety. Now there are a few varieties for the 1864 British penny. There is a plain 4 and a crosslet 4. It's actually pretty funny because the 1864 Canadian penny also has these two varieties. I'll put an example of what the plain 4 looks like on the screen for you. In terms of value, the 1864 plain 4 variety can be worth around 957 pounds for an MS60 and all the way up to 3,590 pounds for an MS65 example. Number 5 is the 1869 British penny. You don't need to identify any errors or varieties for this, you just simply need to find the date 1869. If you can find one of these, it can be worth around 1,960 pounds for an MS60 and all the way up to 4,970 pounds for an MS63 example, and that is for the 1869 Queen Victoria British penny. Number 4 is going to be the only King Edward VII British penny on this list, and that is the 1902. Now you need to identify a variety for this penny. You need to look for the low sea level variety. There is a high sea level and a low sea level. The low sea level is the much rarer of the two varieties. Now to identify this, basically you have to look to the bottom right of Lady Britannia on the reverse of the coin, and if it has a lower sea level, I will put an example of what you need to look for on the screen. You have yourself one incredibly rare British penny that can be worth around 110 pounds for an MS60 example, and all the way up to 2,150 pounds for an MS66. Number 3 is going to be the 1926 British penny. Now 1926 has a portrait of King George V on the obverse of the coin, and you need to actually identify a variety for this. It is the modified effigy variety. Now, I will put an example of both of the different effigies on the screen. On the left is the regular and on the right is the modified effigy. Now, I cannot for the life of me determine what is the difference between the two, but if you can tell the difference, then let us know what you see down in the comments. It's almost like a Where's Waldo situation. But if you can identify the 1926 modified effigy British penny, it can be worth around 920 pounds for an MS60 and all the way up to 3,590 pounds for an MS65 example. Alrighty folks, we are down to the last two, and I saved the best for last. These two are some holy grail coins that are worth insane amounts of money. The next one is actually going to be the most valuable penny we discuss on this list, and that is the 1933 British penny. This is considered to be one of the most famous British pennies of the last 150 years. 1933 pennies were not supposed to be produced for general circulation, and less than 15 are known to exist, including the one that was stolen and disappeared in August 1970. James Mackay wrote a book in his History of Modern English Coinage, and these coins were struck for inclusion in the sets interred under the foundation stones of public buildings, and only one or two are believed to be in the hands of private collectors. So unless lightning strikes when you're searching through your pocket change, or you feel like doing an archaeological dig through public buildings to find one of these pennies, your chances of coming across it are pretty much slim to nil, but it is definitely one of the most rare and valuable British pennies of all time. It can be worth around 156,700 British pounds for an MS62 example. If one was to grade any higher, I'm sure you would see a significant price jump. If it scored in the high MS range, you could be talking $1 million penny. This coin is incredibly rare, it has a fascinating history, and it was not supposed to be made, and the ones that are out there are pretty much inaccessible. So chances are, if you do ever come across a 1933 British penny, it probably is a counterfeit, but you should always get it checked because you never know if maybe, just maybe, you have a holy grail coin. Well folks, we have made it to number 1 on this list. I really hope you guys enjoy these videos and find them helpful. If you do, please smash that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and also hit that bell notification so you can see my new videos as they are being released. And then what do you say we get into number 1 on this list, which is going to be the 1954 British penny. In the year 1953, 1,308,000 pennies were produced with the new monarch of Queen Elizabeth II, but only one 1954 penny is known to exist. The 1954 dated penny is listed as unique in standard catalogs, but we are unable to say for certain that the only one survived from the trial run of several hundreds, and that is a quote from Joseph Payne, the assistant curator at the Royal Mint in London. So pretty much there were not any pennies struck in the year 1954 in Britain. If there are any out there, it is by mistake and an accident or possibly an experiment by the Royal Mint in London. But the fact that 1954 British pennies were not produced for mass circulation, and there is one out there with the date 1954, is promising. You never know if maybe you are coin roll hunting in the United Kingdom or looking through your pocket change, if maybe, just maybe, you could find one of these holy grail 1954s. I'm sure it could blend in pretty well with the 1953s. But in terms of value, the British 1954 penny can be worth around £30,000 for an MS60 example, and all the way up to 60,000 pounds for an MS62. Now this is another coin where I'm sure you'll see significant price jumps. The price doubles from MS60 to 62. So if you found an MS65 example of one of these, which I'm sure will probably never happen because only one of them is actually known to exist, you could be talking a $100,000 to $500,000 coin, and that is the 1954 British penny. Well folks, we have concluded this list and broken down the top 10 most valuable pre-decimal British pennies. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to announce that I have partnered with Lighthouse Canada. They are one of the largest and most reputable coin supply companies in North America. They have a website with a massive selection and inventory that can cover just about everything in your coin collecting journey. They have coin flips, coin albums, microscopes, everything you can need, whether you're a coin roll hunter or just trying to fill up your collection. So if you would like to shop Lighthouse Canada, then go to lighthousecanada.ca and enter the promo code DANE20 at your checkout, and you can save 20% off of your order. Also, I partner with Charlton Press. They produce Canadian coin catalogs of the highest quality. So if you guys would like to find out the values of your Canadian coins, then go to charltonpress.com and enter the promo code DANE20 at your checkout. That's lighthousecanada.ca and charltonpress.com. Enter the promo code DANE20 at your checkout and you will save 20% on your order. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Until the next one, peace out and have a good one, y'all.